moments when life in Moscow feels completely normal. Thursday morning wasn't one of them. In the southeast of the city, an oil refinery had been hit during a Ukrainian drone attack. Even from a distance, the sight was surreal. Thick smoke billowing from the direction of the facility had turned the sky dark. Like a giant black shroud, it hung over the Moscow skyline. As extraordinary and eye-catching this was, so was the reaction of people near the refinery, paying minimal attention to the huge clouds of smoke. An angler sat by the side of a pond, staring out across the water as he carried on fishing. At the playground opposite, children were having fun on the swings. Shoppers were heading to and from a supermarket as if this was just another Thursday. I realized then that my sense of what's normal in Moscow and what's not needed updating. Anadolu via Getty Images black. Smoke rises from the refinery where a fire broke out following a strike as firefighting efforts continue in Moscow. Russia on June 18, 2026, Anadolu via Getty Images. For so long, the war on Ukraine felt very distant to people in the Russian capital. Many pretended it wasn't happening at all, but that's harder to do as the front line creeps closer to the city. Over the past year and a half, Muscovites have woken to news that army generals in Moscow have been assassinated, and drones have been targeting the capital. In a sense, abnormal is already the new normal. Thursday's attack was one of the largest aerial assaults on the Moscow region since Russia's full-scale invasion of Ukraine, as well as damage to the oil refinery. Shopping centers and residential buildings were hit too. According to the governor of the Moscow region, an 8-year-old girl was killed in a fire caused by one of the drone strikes. I'm not totally surprised by what happened, says Slava, who lives in an apartment block opposite the oil refinery. But I didn't expect such a big attack. I heard explosions and saw lots of smoke. It's the kind of thing you normally see in the movies. I saw it from my apartment window. Reuters black smoke billows over the Moscow. Ring road from a fire at a Moscow oil refinery. Reuters. The fire at the Kapotnya refinery was visible to motorists on the Moscow Ring Road. But another local resident, Nadezhda, saw nothing normal in what's happening. It took us for years to win World War II. Even though our soldiers had little food and water, she told me. Today we have all the resources we need. But this war goes on. I'm shocked. How do the Russian authorities respond to people like Nadezhda? To Russians struggling to understand why the Kremlin's so-called special military operation is taking so long, and how it can be that the war has come to their city. Russian officials regularly accuse the West of prolonging the war in Ukraine, blaming European leaders and NATO for supporting Kyiv.